This is Our View, the television voice of Washington's working families, brought to you by the people who work for you, the proud members of the Washington Federation of State Employees. In negotiating a new contract, state employees have felt that they were being drowned out by the rhetoric of politicians trying to make collective bargaining a political issue. You may have noticed that we are now in a political season. To make sure management didn't think we'd simply vanished, members gathered recently to make a little noise to remind them that we are still here and we are still negotiating.
I think that if we stick with each other as labor organizations and work together, we can lift everybody up as far as making a living wage and build strong communities through those living wages. And so the IBEW has been very fortunate in being able to negotiate good contracts for their members. And I know that with the state workers right now, they're in a dilemma based on what's happening with the state budget, the upcoming budget, but I think we all must remain strong together to maintain those wages and benefits that we enjoy and build upon them. The public stake in this is the services that we, as a group of citizens in the whole state of Washington, enjoy. We enjoy the public benefit that is coming to us through these hardworking people. And if we don't take care of these folks, we will lose them, and the public will suffer. I don't know that the public realizes just exactly how much work is being done on their behalf by these state employees. For instance, if you look at what we're getting out of our transportation dollars, in this area alone, we're getting much more money out of our transportation dollars than we're actually spending in tax dollars to get it. Just in Lewis County alone, we're getting $1.50 for every dollar that we put in. So what it amounts to is that the infrastructure is being built on transportation, and many of these employees are working hard to make sure that we spend that money efficiently. And so what we're getting out of it is more dollars than we're putting in personally.
We would like to convey a message to our governor and to all of our legislators that please don't forget, state agencies cannot function without us. Only when we are there, they can open their door. So please respect and show us that we can be proud to be a state employee, as they say that they would like us to be proud. We want to be proud, but show us that you mean that.
Sometimes the public doesn't realize until they lose those benefits of what they've really got. And let's hope that we don't get to the point to where we have to start cutting back these programs that are so essential to our strong community base.
Unemployment on Native American reservations is quite high. Many feel that by leaving the reservation, they will lose their culture. A group of unions, the Mechanical Allied Crafts, are reaching out to Native American youth with a message that they can keep their heritage, yet be a union member and join a profession with good wages and good benefits.
I think the future of the tribes and the future of reservations is great. We have the opportunity to be part of infrastructure coming to, providing good union jobs, providing sustainable jobs, and teaching our young people a craft that they can carry on throughout their life.
Give yourself a chance and don't doubt yourself on what your limits are. Set standards for yourself and just find that inner strength to get up and just at least try. You know, you never know where you'll end up.
Casinos are just the start of the economic development on the reservation. They're going to provide us the necessary income to build the infrastructure, whether it's the schools, the hospitals. We're going to see all this new construction come because of the casinos, and that's good union work.
You can maintain your identity with your own heritage and still be part of and contributing to what we do as a union organization and as a building trades organization of skilled craftsmen. I think that fits very well with all cultures. Everybody respects artisans, and we consider ourselves artisans at what we do.
Actually, it's really a good thing to have opportunity to be cultural and spiritual and still have a great opportunity to have a future in, you know, being an electrician, being in the union, and, you know, making something good of yourself. It's, you know, best of both worlds almost.
The decisions of joining and the time that I'm putting in, and pretty soon I'll be a journeyman, and I'll have the options whether I could work here in my local or I could travel and see the country, and being financially stable was a big part of me joining it.
Not only our trade, the heat and frost insulators, but the other MAC trades are basically career-oriented. We don't offer just partial employment. This is something we feel we want you to do the rest of your working life.
In our trade and some of the other trades that I've seen on the job, everyone looks out for each other, and they take the brotherhood part of the trade seriously, which is good. And you know, I learn a lot from some of the older guys and some of their work ethics and how to be a good brother.
That first step is a huge step for any young person to take, and even more so for a tribal member, because we're so family oriented. But what you get from the union is you get into another family. You're accepted into a brotherhood of pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers. They take you in as one of theirs, so you're transferring from one family to another.
A big conversation is going on right now in Europe concerning what changes are needed to make corporations more accountable. It is the conversation that needs to begin here in the United States as well.
More worker participation in the company is really the key to everything here. That will help workers become more confident in companies, will help them understand more about what's going on in the companies, but will also give management a chance to listen to workers and to hear their suggestions about how the company can run better. So I think that worker participation is the single strongest and best thing that could be done here to move things ahead.
We need a strong combination of our collective bargaining policies at European level with strong workers' involvement at company level. Both fit together, and this we have to develop further on a European scale, and not only at the national scale as it has been done in the past.
I think what is very important is to have a legal framework in Europe to give the opportunity to have a common framework between, you know, the different, different instruments to give to the workers this possibility to have a new voice inside the company. But the idea of this voice by ownership is to give the opportunity to the workers to present inside the strategic decisions the interests of the workers. And then, of course, a common legal framework should be interesting, with, of course, incentive also.
I'm afraid that in many countries, where the cultural traditions and the legal traditions are such, it is one of the hardest nuts to crack here is probably not thinking on the part of employees, but it's thinking on the part of employers prepared to give voice in new ways and to recognize the contribution that employees can make individually and collectively.
Major task, the really big task, is to discuss change with workers. Management, the companies as such, must discuss the structural change that is going on, all that process, as it is often called, of creative destruction that is going on, and that creates a lot of costs for workers, to discuss it with them, to discuss how their know-how, how their inside knowledge can be used to their own benefits also. And if they feel taken seriously much more than simply be used as a pawn in the game, I think that would make a very big change.
I have no short answer, but if I look for a short one, I would say you have to have a political change, and you need to fix the problem on a political level. You have, for instance, in Germany and in Austria, you have in the legal system, in the Grundgesetz in Germany and in one of the laws in Austria, in the company law in Austria, you have the obligation of companies to act in not just in the interest of the company or in the interest of shareholders, but in the interest of society as a whole.
A look at our union history. Here's Ross Reeder.
8 hours for work, 8 hours for recreation, 8 hours for rest was part of the call to action from the early American Federation of Labor in the 1880s. Visit the Trades Hall in Lygon Street in Melbourne, Australia, and you can feel history in their original assembly room. On one wall is a replica of the banner workers in Melbourne carried with the same slogan. Australian carpenters declared the 8-hour day for themselves in 1856, 3 decades before the Yanks got real serious about the shorter workday. On September 5, 1882, the first Labor Day parade was held in New York City. Thousands participated. It was part of a nationwide movement for the 8-hour day. May Day was also a favorite day to demonstrate for the 8-hour day and other improvements. On May 1, 1886, almost 350,000 workers took part in 8-hour day demonstrations in Milwaukee, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, and other cities. As an immediate result, about 185,000 workers gained a shorter workday. May Day lost favor as a day of worker celebration in the U.S. after the violence that occurred a few days later in Chicago in 1886. A bomb went off and the police rioted. Only the rest of the world celebrates Labor Day on May Day. Well, the West Corps longshore workers took one complete shift of this last May Day. It's probably too late for you this year, but Seattle and Olympia labor unions are known to put on Labor Day events. Portland, Oregon, too, has redeveloped a successful Labor Day picnic, filling a large park across the Willamette River from the city. Oregon, by the way, was the first state in our nation to establish the first Monday in September as Labor Day and a holiday.
This has been Our View, brought to you by the members of the Washington Federation of State Employees. We remind you, when you receive a paycheck for your hard work, you don't give up your rights. Thank you for watching.
We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it, just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all the time. Fire is a danger. It can burn whole buildings if someone is careless. But we are ready for fires. We have a fine fire department to put out the fire, and you have fire drills in your school so you know what to do. Automobiles can be dangerous, too. They sometimes cause bad accidents, but we are ready. We have safety rules that car drivers and people who are walking must obey. Now, we must be ready for a new danger, the atomic bomb. First, you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. If you are not ready and did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree or a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, you will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered.